welcome to another episode, Halftime TV viewers and subscribers. And today we're going to talk about the Jamaican striker Warner Brown. Now, what Warner Brown is doing with the national team is something that we've been dying to see for the past few years. We've seen strikers done well in the Premier League, but not given the opportunity to play for the senior team. And I think for the Jamaican fans, that's been a concern for most of us. Whenever our favorite players in the JPL do well, we love to see them matriculate into the senior team, because otherwise it's almost as if all their work in the JPL is virtually unvalued. It's not being recognized. Now, Warner Brown, he's taken his opportunity with both hands and is showing everyone, including the coaches and the players who are still playing in the Jamaican Premier League, that it can be done. Over the years, we've oftentimes gone for strikers in the English Championship or sometimes in the Premier League, as we're seeing now with Mikel Antonio. We've also relied heavily on the USL for strikers in recent years, and now we're seeing the eyes are being turned to the Jamaican Premier League. The tide is somewhat shifting. I'm going to speak about who Warner Brown is and a lot more in this video. So if you haven't yet done so, go ahead, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel straight off the bat. Also, let's keep the conversation going down below in the comment section. Okay, so who is Warner Brown? He started his career at St. Andrew Technical. So that's where he played his schoolboy football. Not one of the most renowned footballing schools like a JC or St. George's, but St. Andrew Technical. They've been good over the last few years, don't get me wrong, but as far as traditional football school goes, St. Andrew Technical is not one of those. His coach at St. Andrew Technical was also his coach at Tivoli, and he got a few goals on the board in his debut season with Tivoli Gardens FC in the Jamaican Premier League. He then earned himself a move to Rochester, New York FC, so he was playing in the United States, or he got to move to the United States, a move that got the entire school population excited, including his coach, because it was the first player that he was coaching to receive a contract to go overseas. Now, Brown, he then went on for a short stint in Slovenia with clubs Mura and Beltinci, and then he returned to the Jamaican Premier League. Now, last season he was a top scorer in the Jamaican Premier League, registering 23 goals and 3 assists. Now, if that's not impressive, get this: in 4 starts with the Jamaican senior national team, he has registered 4 goals. So I think, and this is something that we've been craving and we've been begging for, I think he's basically kicked the door down for the future Jamaican players or Jamaican Premier League players looking for places in the senior team. Now, yesterday's game against Guatemala was a good example of why we should give the local talent an opportunity. He looked hungry, he looked as if he wanted to be there, and he looked as if his life depended on it. Warner Brown went out there and he delivered. He missed a chance early in the game. That didn't throw him off, because he then went on to score a brace. So again, I know he would be feeling like he should have gotten a hat-trick, because that's how all good strikers think. But a brace is good enough, and in the grand scheme of things, I think right now he should be the first name on the starting lineup, followed closely by Demari Gray, of course. But Warner Brown has made a claim for himself, and as we, the YouTubers and the analysts, we were criticizing the coach's decision to leave Shamar Nichols out of this squad, and let me be the first to come here and say that decision has been vindicated. Shamar Nichols will need to work twice as hard right now to get into this team. Warner Brown has good hold-up plays, he runs in the channels, he gives you basically everything. He's a fully rounded striker, and he was produced in the Jamaican Premier League. Right, so I think going forward, and especially in the Gold Cup, which is under a week away, the coach doesn't have that difficult of a decision as far as his starting striker goes, because Warner Brown is a shoo-in. Romario Williams, he's been good for his clubs in the USL, but as far as Jamaica goes, hasn't been exceptional, hasn't been as prolific for the Jamaican national team, and as such I expect him to continue playing a backup role. The coach named the squad for the Gold Cup, and Mikel Antonio was part of that as well. Personally, I think Mikel Antonio sits on the bench. So Warner Brown, he's causing a scene right now. He's shuffling up the space and he's turning heads left, right, and center. Because who is this youngster? Who is this 22-year-old striker that's kicking up a storm with the Jamaican national team? There are some that say he reminds them of Walter Boyd. Let me know in the comment section, does he remind you of Walter Boyd? Do you think Warner Brown has done enough right now, the games that we've seen him in, to secure himself as the starting striker for the Jamaican national team? Let's hear the answer to that question and a lot more in the comment section as we keep the conversation going and as we continue to support the Jamaican football team. Remember, like, share, subscribe if you haven't yet done so, and let's keep the chat going. Warner Brown is the main man right now, finishing, kicking up a storm, and delivering on what the coach has basically relayed the trust in him. So sometimes it's all the strikers need, a little bit of trust from the coaches, and over the years there are coaches who have been scared to do so. We've seen the likes of Brian Brown, for his namesake, doing extremely well in the Jamaican Premier League, yet struggling for a place in the senior team. We've seen Tuffy Anderson, the same thing, doing well in the Jamaican Premier League and struggling to get a space in the Jamaican national team with previous coaches. So it's good to see now that Steve McLaren is not only attending the games or not only pretending as if he's paying attention to the Jamaican Premier League, he's also delivering and he's also making decisions based on what he's seen in the local league. So big up everybody. Again, until next time, we'll talk, but let's keep the chat going below. Peace.